Hi everyone, it's Saturday, June 16th. This is Senator Sharon Hewitt. I'd like to give you a little bit of an update on the budget shortfall from a behind-the-scenes standpoint, the things that you're not really hearing in the media. And then I'd also like to tell you about a dozen or so bills that I passed in the regular session and how I believe that they will impact you and your families. Let's start out with a few of the bills that I passed and how I believe they will affect you and your family. Some of these bills actually came from constituents, ideas that you gave to me as your representative. The first bill became Act 233. It came from a constituent right here in Slidell. And effective immediately, the state of Louisiana lifted the fees that you would pay to freeze or unfreeze your credit report. This is going to be a great thing in terms of reducing identity theft. The next bill also will become effective in August. This came from the developmentally disabled community, LeCan. It's Act 665. This is going to improve the funding for waiver services for individuals with development disabilities and greatly reduce the number of families on the waiting list waiting for services. The third bill, Act 675, will be effective in August. And this is from a constituent in Pearl River. Those of you that have surplus military vehicles that are currently stamped as off-road use only will have the ability to get your vehicles registered and legal and used for everyday use. I also got some ideas from local leaders that asked for my help. Act 484, which is effective immediately, was requested by the St. Tammany District Attorney's Office. This bill will eliminate bail for a person that's been convicted of a crime punishable by imprisonment of 25 years for a crime that was a sex offense and a crime of violence. We don't need those folks waiting for their sentencing and being out on the streets where they could potentially recommit a crime. Act 221, which is effective in August, was at the request of the Slidell Memorial Hospital Board. This is going to make the process by which we appoint the Board of Commissioners a little bit more effective. Act 357 came from the Louisiana Engineering Society. It'll be effective in August. This bill is going to allow the state fire marshal to submit plans, drawings, and specifications to the engineering board or the architectural board for review for safety measures. Senate Concurrent Resolution 86 was brought to me by way of the New Orleans Geologic Society. This resolution acknowledges the partnership between the New Orleans Geologic Society, several local universities, the oil and gas industry, as well as the Coastal Protection and Restoration Agency. The resolution talks about technical work being done with 3D seismic that's going to allow us to more accurately model land subsidence and to utilize this data to make better decisions about our coastal restoration projects. There were also a number of things that, of course, I initiated on my own. Senate Bill 400, which became Act 612, and will be effective next budget year, is a bill that we've talked about quite a bit. And it is the bill by which we eliminated dedicated funds to the tune of about $120 million. I think that's going to be a great benefit to us next year when we're looking for more state general fund dollars. Act 651 is effective immediately. And in that bill, I am doing some work to bring more transparency to Medicaid. Medicaid is a program, of course, which requires about half of the state's funding. And so this bill will require the Joint Budget Committee that I serve on to receive both monthly and quarterly information about the Medicaid program, its expenditures, as well as a 5-year forecast so we can better anticipate the revenue required to fund that program. I also amended a bill that I believe will bring new data to bear on our tax incentive program. I amended what the bill that became Act 87, and it's going to require the Department of Revenue to develop a return on investment calculation for every tax incentive program that we have and to rank order them. This will allow the legislature to make better decisions about those incentive programs that are truly beneficial to the state, and those that are not beneficial to the state, we will have the data by which to eliminate them. I did a lot of work this session in the area of sexual harassment and co-authored Act 270. Of course, I did author my own bill. The sexual harassment policy that we've established is going to require a standardized training program for all local and state governmental entities. And of course, the ultimate goal is to provide a safe workplace for all employees. And so I think that the sexual harassment policies that we will put in place will help to create a new culture in the state of Louisiana. Act 572, which is effective July 1st, is kind of a fun bill. It requires all of the reports that are currently generated by the executive branch of government to be reviewed every 5 years to determine if there's still a need for that report. We do a great job of creating a lot of reports and a lot of work. We don't do as much of a job to eliminate those things when they're no longer useful. So those are some of the bills that I passed in the regular session. But the majority of my time, as you know, through the Senate Finance Committee is spent working on the budget. The governor campaigned on a promise of not raising your taxes. But the very first thing he did after being sworn in was called a special session whereby we raised your taxes by 1 penny of sales tax on a temporary basis, with the promise that we would do budget and tax reform to get the state's fiscal ship in order. I have focused on budget reform through the elimination of dedicated funds. I've worked on evidence-based budgeting and passed a bill to do that, whereby investments will be made on evidence-based programs with demonstrated results that we can tie to funding. I've brought a lot of scrutiny to the Medicaid program. As you know, it's almost half of the state's budget, and have offered solutions to reduce Medicaid, both through Medicaid community engagement and work requirements, as well as more fiscal responsibility in the areas of elimination of fraud, eligibility, and enrollment forecasting. But the governor has been resistant to those things, and in my opinion, he's really done nothing in the area of long-term reform to look at ways that we could change the trajectory of state government. His hair's on fire, and the only thing he can suggest, once again, here we are, is raising your taxes. So today he is talking about the idea that he has reduced state government by $200 million and is going to reduce your taxes by $500 million. Well, don't buy it for a minute. You cannot say that you're reducing state government by $200 million when the facts are that this budget, if the governor gets the new revenue he's asking for, will increase compared to last year's budget by $300 million. He's increased the budget by $600 million since being elected. That's not a $200 million decrease. And the $500 million cut to your taxes, well, I guess it's a matter of how you look at it. Today you're paying 5 cents state sales tax. On July 1st, you will be paying 4 cents if the legislature takes no action. What the governor would like is to raise your taxes to 4.5 cents. So do you see that as a $500 million increase in your taxes or a $500 million cut to your taxes? Well, I guess it's all in how you view it. I view that as a tax increase. And although I do believe that there are many programs in state government that do need more funding than what we currently have provided for in the budget, I do believe there are other things that the governor could take action on today that would make the Medicaid program more efficient and more effective and allow us to shift some of that funding to higher education and TOPS. And so that's what the battle is all about. We'll be there on Monday, and I will be advocating on your behalf to try to make sure that we're using your tax dollars as effectively as possible. And I'm not going to ask for another penny out of your pocket until I can convince you that we're making good use of the money that you've already given us. So I'm asking you for your prayers. This is a very difficult time, but I want you to know that I'm there working to make Louisiana better, and I believe that we can do that if we all work together. God bless. Looking forward to hearing from you. I have all the social media there to help you stay in touch with what we're doing. You can follow me on YouTube at Sharon Hewitt TV, on Facebook, Senator Sharon Hewitt, Twitter at Sharon Hewitt, and of course by email and phone. Take care. Love y'all. God bless.